Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Thomas Talk. So I've been away for a while. I've been very busy lately in the TV world. Um, Now, there's a lot of news that I do have to catch up on following the Thomas and Friends world, but I feel like that can wait another week because while I was away, um, something very upsetting actually happened, which was the closure of Arc Productions, which is something that is very well known to the Thomas community online and in the world everywhere. Um, Arc Productions filed for bankruptcy on August 2nd, 2016, and locked out somewhere between 500 and 600 employees who essentially don't have any work anymore. And this is particularly upsetting for me because I've actually met several of these people. And I've been to the studios. As many of you know, I never seem to be really be quiet about it because I still hold that as actually one of the happiest days of my life, one of the best days of my life. Um, and the fact that that studio is now gone is really kind of upsetting to me. So this is gonna be a very serious episode where I kind of talk about Arc Productions and the story of it from where it all started and what happened, clear some things up. Um, I'm just going to ramble on. There aren't going to be any jump cuts or anything. It's just going to be me talking about Arc Productions. So, Arc Productions really started with the Thomas and Friends world after Nitrogen Studios dropped its contract with Hit Entertainment, and they found Arc Productions as a new studio. I went in July of 2013, July 2nd, 2013. I remember that date very well. And I met several of the people there. I took a picture with many of them, which you will see now. I'll put it up. Some of the people in that picture are Rob Anderson, who was the producer at the time, left for a year, came back. Meg Dryden, the production coordinator. Jason McKenzie, who worked for ARC at the time, left about a year after I visited. And Sarah Williams, the production manager there. Really incredible people. And I met so many others. I met the animators, the lighting coordinators, and the post supervisors, and the storyboard artists. They were all really good people. Just so passionate about what they did, and I looked up to every one of them. And it was one of the first times that I could actually talk to someone else who knew Thomas as well as I did. And it was amazing. And that was kind of it was a very good day because after that day, I realized how much I loved the film and television world. And even though I'm no longer working in animation or visual effects and I'm now working in live action productions, that still sticks to me that day. I remember it very well. And it was really the first thing that really inspired me to go off and do what I've done. And I'll go a bit more into that later on. But I went there to, when they just had the new contract and everything. We had only seen 10 episodes of season 17. Remember that, guys? We had no clue that Bill and Ben were coming back. Duck was something that was brand new. If you remember when we found out that characters were coming back 2 weeks before it happened. If you remember that time. That was a lot of fun. I really had a good time there. And they went on, they've done so many things. They were halfway through production of season 21 when they did file for bankruptcy. Many people have been upset over this Arc Productions thing, saying, it should have been paying them more money or something, or that they were too focused on Thomas or whatever. That's not the case. They had between 500 and 600 people working for them at the time, and at its peak, only about 100 of those people were working on Thomas, between 80 and 100. So, it was only a portion of their studio that did Thomas. They still loved Thomas, and Thomas was still what they were all about, but it wasn't their whole operation. It was just a piece of it. They were also working on Barbie Life in the Dream House, and really the thing that actually did kill them was a samurai film that was in production. Now, I guess because of Sausage Party, which is animated by Nitrogen Studios, the former company that animated Thomas, Really, I'm not intending on seeing it, mainly because it's just, the people who used to do Thomas now doing that, and if I want to save how I look at the CGI Thomas World, the first one, I won't see that movie. It's just, now everyone wants to do that. A lot of studios have greenlit adult animated movies, and they were working on an action adult movie with Samuel L. Jackson and Mel Gibson and a whole lineup of people. I think John Cena was meant to make an appearance. But, that's what killed them, that movie. They were working on it and everything, and it was going fine. Now, the way that animation studios work is that they go into debt in one production, paying all these people. And then all of a sudden they have to take on another production to pay that back. And ARC's been doing this successfully for over 20 years. But this time it kind of went wrong. They missed a payment back in December 2015, and again earlier this year, and I think around July 25th, July 26th, the company, or someone, I think it was the production company for the Samurai film, demanded like $30 million US currency, which is a lot more Canadian. And the only way that they could get out was to file for bankruptcy and lock out their employees. And that was a decision from the CEO of ARC Productions, who had to do all this and was managing all this stuff. And, I don't want to lay the blame because I don't know too much about it. There's an article in the Globe and Mail about all of it because the court documents are out now. But that's really what killed ARC Productions. And, many people are saying that Hit Entertainment should be going in and buying ARC Productions. But if Hit Entertainment does that, they have to pay back all that money. And I don't know how excited Hit Entertainment is to, pay off $30 million US in debt. That's a lot of money. So it's messy. It's really messy. It seems to be put on the management and that kind of stuff. I don't know, though. I don't know. I wasn't there. I don't know the details. I just know what the press is saying. They've also been criticized because they got over $20,000 Canadian currency from the Ontario government for a job creation grant. And people are saying, where did that money go? Well, those are the people who don't work in the television and film industry. The money was spent. It met all the requirements set out by the Ontario government and the Canadian government as well. That it's not even a part of the question. The money was spent to create jobs in the animation industry, which they did do. There's no controversy whatsoever. Government gave them a grant to create jobs. They did it. Met all the checklist stuff was checked off. There's nothing. There's no controversy. So that kind of bothers me a little bit. I knew straight from the get-go, they used it to pay people and create jobs, but people couldn't figure that out. They don't know how much animation costs, obviously. But, I think that people are concerned now that Thomas has to find a new studio, and it hurts me because I see people making fun of it. Making fun of ARC Productions. Some that people do some nice things, some people say some really mean things. And they're concerned about Thomas. People said that Thomas will be canceled. Thomas won't be canceled. They're just the animation studio. I don't even know if they own the footage. I think Hit Entertainment owns the footage. They sell it to Hit Entertainment or something. I don't know what their contract is. I don't need to see that. But, it's sad. It is sad. And yes, Thomas will have to find a new animation studio. And yes, that may be different and, it may be something to adapt to. But that, to me, that's the last thing crossing my mind. And, this is just the way people think. Thomas is going to have to find another animation studio. Hit's not going to buy ARC. It would be useful for them to have their own animation studio, for Mattel to have, Mattel Animation or whatever. But, it's not going to happen. It's not worth their money, in their eyes at least. But, it's just, yes, Thomas is going to have to find another animation studio. We don't know who it is yet. ARC Productions may come back. We don't know. We really don't know. It's really uncertain right now. It's murky. It's really murky. And really, though, what we should be thinking about is not losing, half a season of Thomas the Tank Engine, the train with the face, but we should instead be thinking about the almost 600 people who now have no work and may not even be paid for the work that they've done in the past couple of weeks. Just imagine showing up to work one day and just reading a notice on the door after a long weekend, because it was after a long weekend, that just says, sorry, you're unemployed. Go see the Canadian government for money. That's unimaginable. And the fact that I've met some of these people and I harassed them with emails over the years, who knows what they think while I send them those emails. They've always been very, very nice and very, very kind and easy to talk with, and appeared to be excited whenever I emailed them. Really just incredible. And I'm definitely thinking about them. Tom's new animation studio has crossed my mind, but it's not the thing I think about. I think about all those people who are now out of work. Just a very few of them who have worked on Thomas. Only about a fifth. It's a hard industry right now. It's really hard. And these are good people who did really good work and were loved by a lot of people, by a whole community. And for Thomas and Barbie and whatever that samurai film developed. But just, it's sad to watch it go. These people did a lot for this community. The people involved with Thomas did a lot. I've seen so many people who have started an animation because of ARC Productions, and with dreams and hopes to work at ARC Productions or another animation studio in the future. They're inspiring. And I've been inspired by them. I would not have produced TV. I would have not gone out and done it if it weren't for them. They really inspired me to go off and do it. They're one of the big things. And I look at them and, I look up to everyone that worked there. And, it's incredible. They're awesome, awesome people. And they've inspired so many, including myself. And it's just, if I even had the opportunity to work with any of these people in the future, in my career path, I would be so lucky. Anyone in this industry who got to work with those people and gets to work with those people in the future is so lucky. I don't know how many people out there at ARC Productions will be watching this right now, but really, it's just, you are amazing. And I really, really hope that you can get back on your feet and that you find work and, just keep inspiring. Really, keep inspiring people. You're very good at it. Just thank you. Really, thank you for everything you've done for this community, for other communities, and for me personally, and for all those others that you've inspired. And wherever the future of Thomas goes, who knows? But thank you so much for making your mark with it. That's all I really have to say. So, thank you for watching Thomas Talk, and we'll see you all next time.